F tier. Please never speak to me again.
Due to painfully lackluster reasoning for fighting her, I'm putting her at the bottom of D tier.
A worldwide fact between the Don't Starve Together community is that, well, Malbatross sucks, because not only is it hard to find and spawn, but its loot's pretty useless. Now, I don't know about you, but when I first saw this boss, it looked sick, and it's just such a disappointment in how annoying and lackluster and useless she is. But I'm gonna change that, because this is how to make Malbatross great again, or great from now on. Yeah, I don't know why I said great again. Anyways, Malbatross has 3 main downsides. She is a huge pain to find, and even after you find her, there's a chance she won't even spawn. She has terrible loot that only benefits exploring the sea, and doesn't target the player correctly, and usually just flies away mid-fight. Now, I have a way to fix all 3 of these problems without changing any of her mechanics or the way she targets you. And the way this is basically going to work is I'm just going to go through the 3 most annoying things about Malbatross, which I just said, and I'm just going to go through each one and say how I'd change it. So the first issue is finding her, and the way that I'd fix this problem is the Malbatross Lake. Okay, that might sound a little strange, but just imagine a small lake in the middle of the forest that just looks unusual because it has many small waves, kind of like the ones from Don't Starve Shipwrecked, and within this lake there's a small pier that leads to almost the middle of this lake. And this would definitely solve the issue of finding Malbatross and make her much easier to fight in general. This would also make Malbatross a stepping stone for all the other sea bosses, and in general would help beginners explore the sea because they just have all the gear they need to explore much easier. You're also probably wondering what the pier would do, and its purpose would be that basically you walk out to the end of the pier, then there's a green patch of water in the middle of the lake, kind of like the poisonous bubbles in the swamp from Shipwrecked, and that's where you need a fish from to summon Malbatross. I think that this would really benefit Malbatross as a boss fight, as it would just make it so much easier to prepare and know when and where she'll spawn, and make it more of just a normal boss fight that would be on the same progression level as the seasonal bosses. And I could possibly see people fighting this boss maybe around Moose Goose level. And one more thing I wanted to add to this segment is that Malbatross living in a lake would be amazing, as lakes aren't really a thing in Don't Starve, and I think adding new scenery to the game would just overall make the game better, because you'd have just something new to stumble upon in your world. And hey, Clay could even make the lake freeze over or something in winter. That'd be pretty cool. Now, the second issue that Malbatross has is that she has very lackluster loot that only really makes exploring the sea quicker. And the way that I'd change this issue is to just add an item that basically works as a sail, but it's a hat, and it would increase your speed by around 20 or 25%-ish. But this sail would also work on a boat, and the sail will make your boat faster whilst just simply being a big hat on your head. Okay, obviously this is just a bit overpowered, so I'd also remove the other sail that you can make. Although this doesn't sound like the hugest buff when it comes to loot drops, but you have to keep in mind that you can get seafaring items before seafaring, so most of our drops are now useful. So we've made it to the final section of this video, the most enraging part about Malbatross. The part that even after you finally spawn her, she isn't even bothered to fight you. Well, I think I have an interesting mechanic that would change all of this, and that's to make the Malbatross Lake a wave pool. Yes, a wave pool. Because I mean, the lake wouldn't be very big, so Malbatross hasn't got anywhere to run. And I don't know if you've ever tried to spawn Malbatross using commands, but if you have, then you'll know that she just straight up despawns if you try to spawn her on land. But a way to make her targeting system even better is to make this wave pool lake have a bunch of small waves that circle around the lake, pushing your boat around, whilst Malbatross attacks you. And for you Malbatross nerds, you'll probably know that her dash would just go too far and she'd just despawn by being on land. Well, this lake would be the perfect size, and the waves would be the perfect speed, so that by the time she dashes again, it would just make her go to the edge of the lake so that she would never accidentally leave. And for anyone that's trying to glitch this mechanic, you just won't be able to, as these waves will just push you too fast. And I also think that some people find it annoying when Malbatross is always pushing your boat away, but the lake's small enough that it just doesn't really matter. And for people out there that think an anchor would make the fight easier, well, the waves will just keep crashing into your boat. So unless you want 100 wetness, then it won't be a good strategy. The final thing I wanted to add to this fight is Malbatross at the start of the fight will use her tail and destroy the pier. And these wooden pieces of the pier that have just been broken will just flow around the lake for the whole fight. And they'll just flow a little bit slower than your boat, so you'll most likely keep crashing into them, just adding a more chaotic aspect to the fight. Alright, so there you have it. I remade the Malbatross boss fight, fixing all of its issues without changing any mechanics, besides a little animation of her destroying the dock at the start of the fight. And if you ask me, I think this fight would be kind of like a boss you could rush in Autumn like Dragonfly, but a bit easier, and this boss still wouldn't be able to be cheesed by making it fight other bosses either, or even just using gunpowder. And if you're left thinking that this change would leave the ocean to be more bland and empty than it already kind of is, then you're right, and more importantly, you must have been paying very close attention, so thanks for that. But yes, I know this would have a bit of an effect on making the ocean a little more boring, but hey, the Don't Starve Together map is huge, so I'm sure in future Clay will add new mobs or even new islands that are similar to the Moonquay Island. You know, just kind of small spin-off stuff from the regular game that's just new fun things to see and do. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I decided to make more of a fun video instead of the more negative video like the last two. I may do more of these Don't Starve Together concepts if this video does well. Or even for like bosses that you guys don't like, or just things in the games you guys don't like. Just let me know in the comments. Also, thanks for all the new people that joined my Discord. Link in description if you guys want to join. But thanks for sticking around till the end, and see ya.